Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with IONCINEMA, here to review The Secret Garden, which will be available to stream on digital on demand August 7, 2020, courtesy of STX Films. This version of The Secret Garden was made by Marc Munden and written by Jack Thorne. So of course, this is based on the classic children's text that was originally published in 1911 by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Her three most celebrated texts, of course, are Little Lord Fauntleroy and A Little Princess, which of course was first Shirley Temple vehicle. Burnett's works kind of received a renaissance again in the 90s. Alfonso Cuarón did A Little Princess, and Agnieszka Holland, of course, directed the 1993 version of The Secret Garden, which earned Maggie Smith a BAFTA nod and was produced by Francis Ford Coppola. So it's safe to say that Mr. Munden has very high expectations to live up to and fails on every front, including with this film. It's kind of a CGI debacle, not unlike kind of how Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland kind of ruined the magic of that film, or that text, with the special effects. In this film we have Dixie Egerickx playing the lead, Mary Lennox, whose parents die. This version is set in 1947 during the partition of Pakistan and India, and cholera wipes out her parents. It's also cholera in the novel that takes those characters out, and she is forced to go live on the estate of her uncle Archibald Craven, here played by Colin Firth, who she's never met. Of note, Mr. Firth was in a 1987 version of this text for the BBC, which also starred Billy Whitelaw. The novel takes great pains in characterization, and Mary Lennox was a character whose very wealthy parents kind of emotionally neglected her, which is significant to how she affects a household that has also been met by tragedy, because Mrs. Craven, of course, died in the garden, which is why it's secretive, and her cousin, Colin, is an ailing boy who hasn't walked in years, though it's not really actually for any kind of medical condition. And long story short, his being brought out into the secret garden allows him to flourish again, because the Hodgson Burnett's main motif in the text is rejuvenation, which is kind of touched upon here, but like anything, it's kind of overridden by banality. I think a lot of the problem here with this version is in Jack Thorne's screenplay. He also recently wrote The Aeronauts and Radioactive, the Marie Curie biopic, both films that I thought just didn't know how to piece any kind of narrative or action together cohesively. Dixie Egerickx, who can also be seen in Jessica Swale's Summerland, is also forced into playing a very obnoxious young woman. The aura of trauma about Mary Lennox is never apparent. Julie Walters really only gets one scene to shine, with using some dialogue that has any kind of attitude, whereas Maggie Smith was this domineering, imperious character that was frightening to the children. Munden, as I said, has worked a lot in television. He did direct a film starring Christina Ricci and Kyle MacLachlan called Miranda back in 2002. It just seems that almost everyone involved in this, it's really not calibrated to capture the actual spirit of the novel. So it just seems like a pointless rehash of a classic tale. Overall, I would give this version of The Secret Garden 0.5, half a star out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.